Guys, it's Paul Harrison here again. You're probably receiving this on Wednesday on Marcus's blog. We've just done the Monday night webinar call with our stock market students, and really what I wanted to identify on this actual call is something that came up the last few well, certainly when I traded a few times last year. But what we're identifying here is really the gapping incident that happened here. Now, for whatever reason, there may be an announcement or possibly some information that came out, and this drove the price of the stock up. Now, what we've got some evidence of resistance line here, and potentially, if you've got obviously a resistance line, you would potentially be looking for a sell-off, in order to be able to go short and make money when the market's going down. But what I've actually found is when we've come up to the resistance line, when I've traded this actual strategy, after a gap, what you can find happens is there's actually a gap up. It breaks up, and then the stock will still remember this resistance line. So what may happen is there'll be a few days where basically that stock will actually sit on that resistance line. So basically, just have a few days where you're going across that resistance line and just sort of consolidating a little bit. But more often than not, what we've actually found when I've traded this strategy a number of times, what actually happens is, opposed to the stock actually selling off, which we would expect when it comes up to that resistance line, is generally after a gap, there's a gap up, and then the stock will actually remember that resistance line. So there'll be a little bit more people coming in, maybe taking some profit margin and what have you. But the stock will then sit around that resistance line for the next few days before continuing up in its upward direction, the direction it actually gapped into as well. Okay, so just to be aware of that for any of our traders that are watching this. If we've seen a gap up or a gap down, it's come up to either the support line or the resistance line, and it's sitting on the resistance line, there may be some temptation to say take a short position or look for it to go short. But this concerns me. When we've got this kind of gap up there, there's all kinds of momentum around this stock. Now, because obviously there may be some profit being taken or what have you, I would expect to see the stock hovering around this direction. But more often than not, when I've traded it before, what has actually happened is the stock has continued off in its other direction as well. Okay, so with generally what we're saying here is, if it gaps up and then hits a resistance line, try and stay away from that, because what it has done, I think maybe three out of four times, or 3 out of 5 times, I forget which it was, but the majority of the times it was actually continuing up in the direction it was, that broke up into. So I hope that helps you with your trading. Again, some great tickers and stuff like that came through the actual call tonight. So well done for everybody on that call. And yep, I will probably speak to you again same time next week. So have a fantastic week and best of luck with your trading. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.